Okay, so integration by substitution here, again with limits. Okay, so we're going to see how this one works. And notice the substitution that we've been given here. Okay, this kind of helps to sort of eliminate the bottom here. Okay, so the x squared minus 2 just becomes u, and that's really helpful, right? It's going to be a helpful substitution because it makes the denominator a single term. So as we'll see later, it's a big help. So let's first of all appreciate then that's going to become u. Okay. Look at the top here. Now you've got x here, and you've got to ask yourself then, is it possible to get x from this substitution? Is it possible to rearrange this? And we saw in an earlier video that it'll get really messy if you try to do that. Okay, because if you want to get x from here, you're going to have to square root here at some point, and you'll end up having positive or negative options, and it gets really messy. It's going to look horrible, so we can't really do it nicely. So let's not worry about it for a minute. Okay. In here then we've got x squared plus 4. Well, we can get x squared, can't we? We can replace x squared in this case, because in here we can see, look, if that minus 2 goes over, u plus 2 will equal to x squared. Yeah. So I can replace the x squared easily enough with u plus 2, and then I'll have a plus 4 as well then. Okay, so let's work out what dx would be. So if I do du by dx, when you differentiate x squared, it becomes, of course, we'll bring the power down, it'll become 2x. And minus 2 then sort of disappears, yeah? And then I can sort of rewrite this then, yeah? Because I've got, well, let's take the dx up. So du will be 2x dx. But remember, I want to work out what dx is. So I've got to get dx on its own here. So I'll need to take the 2x over and divide, right? So if I take that over, I've got an expression for dx. dx will be du over 2x, okay? So that's what I'm going to substitute dx on. You might start to see now how that might actually help us, okay? So again, though, just before I do the integration, let's sort of concern ourselves with regards to the limits, yeah? So, because we've got to change the limits. So when x is equal to 2, yeah, the lower limit here, remember these are x values. So when x is equal to 2, sub it in there, u will equal to 2 squared minus 2, which works out to be 2. So actually, u is the same value. And then when x is 4, u will equal to 4 squared minus 2, which works out to be 14. Okay. Oops, not 114, 14. Okay. So the lower limit would stay the same for u there, but the upper limit becomes 14. Alright, so let's go for the integral then. So we've got the integral between 2 and 14. Okay. Now remember, there wasn't a way we could work out what x was equal to from here, because it would be too messy. So I'm going to leave the x where it is. In that bracket then, my x squared is u plus 2. And then don't forget then there's a plus 4 as well. Okay. On the bottom then, x squared minus 2 just becomes u. And then you've got to times it by what dx is replaced by. So dx is replaced by this, du over 2x. Now looking at that, can you see where we could go next from here? What would be possible for us to do? Well, our problem with x has been solved, doesn't it? Because you've got x on the top here, which is a bit of an issue. We've got x on the bottom as well. So it'll be x divided by x. They cancel. So you end up having the integral 2 and 14 on the top. You've got u plus 6, because that's what that becomes, yeah? 2 and 4 is 6. On the bottom, you've got the u there times the 2, so that will be 2u du. Okay. So from here then, what I'd actually be tempted to do is to take that 2 outside. So because it's on the bottom, it's actually then a half, isn't it? So half the integral between 2 and 14 of u plus 6 over u. And then remember, when you divide in by a single term, you can split that up. So this becomes the integral of u over u plus 6 over u. So divide each term separately by u to u. So this becomes 1 half, 2 and 14. U over u becomes 1. And 6 over u then, we'll keep this as it is. I'll go over here. Now we can integrate, okay? So don't forget that half. Square brackets then, because we've got limits. 1 then integrates to become u. And 6 over u, now remember, because it's u on the bottom, it's going to become ln u, yeah? So if it was 1 over u, it would be ln u. Because it's 6 over u, it's 6 times ln u. And there's our limits. So then you've got 1 half, okay? We'll put the upper limit in. So it'll be 14 plus 6 ln 14. Take away then, always take away then the lower limit. So that'll be 1 half 2 plus 6 ln 2. Okay. And when you work that out then, I believe you get 11.84. Okay, let me just double check that. So almost there. Yeah, 11.84, 2 decimal places.